welcome guys to Bate Unfiltered's second episode, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So on the first one we introduced ourselves, myself Rohan, Bhav and Addy, and today we're going to talk about our life after school. Since you heard about the fact that how we all were in the same school, some met, some didn't meet, and how the connection built up to how we are. But yeah, today we're going to talk about college life, right? So I did my undergrad in UK after schooling in Dubai. You did it,
So I went to the US, Illinois, Chicago for my
Chicago.
bachelor's IIT.
right?
And I did it in Dubai itself. So it's a good blend of university life, I would say. I think one doing it in the same place where we studied in
Yeah,
school,
where we grew up, yeah.
Yeah.
and then both of you doing it abroad,
Abroad, but two different countries.
from two different
Ah.
countries as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in that culture aspect. So
Yeah.
for me, basically, I did look at US as an option, but obviously coming from a Desi family, they're like, no, that's too far. I think I will stick with
Stick
7
with
hours.
7 hours.
I can, that is the max I can stretch it out to.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that's how I think I
But-
ended up going to UK,
You were
Yeah.
in Lancaster, right?
Lancaster, yeah.
Okay, so I think for me, when I decided for few reasons to continue over here,
Yeah.
but I'll come to something on getting the admission itself to the university, because I think for
If
me
we
or
have
people
young
who are
listeners.
for people who are studying in Dubai, getting into a university based in Dubai, it's not so hard because they really just check your 12th grade board exam marks,
I would have
as
never
well
gotten
as having an internal assessment from the college, which is again
Ooh.
not as hard as going abroad.
You
So-
mean like an entrance exam?
yeah, like an entrance exam, but it's not as difficult as applying for a university abroad. So I'd like to ask you guys, what was your experience, you with applying for
Yeah.
US and you for UK? When did you start? What all do they ask, etc.?
So for me, when I started applying, obviously there was this agencies and companies that help you with this application process and stuff. So I think mine was called UCAS or something like that.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's specific, like it
Which is
was
specific
meant
with-
for UK,
UK
specifically,
universities,
universities in the UK, right? And we had shortlisted a few universities based on the module,
Yeah.
which was marketing for me.
Okay.
And once that was done, then we were given a whole list of things that were required so that I could get into the university and start applying to at least 5 of them. And they had said like list 5, but list them in like priority, like where you want to
Okay.
get in first. If that doesn't, then backup option 2, backup
Okay.
option 3.
Totally, yeah.
That's how they set it up for us. And to also apply for the scholarship grant, for your first year.
True.
So for that, we had to first obviously secure a certain amount of grades in certain subjects. Then I had to give the IELTS
Oh,
because I'm going to UK. I don't think you had. Do you have to give the IELTS?
I don't think I had the choice between IELTS or TOEFL, and I chose TOEFL, and I'm so happy.
But like when did you guys start applying? Does it start in grade 11, grade 12, or when does it
12.
first start?
For
12,
me, it
yeah.
started in 12 for sure.
12.
Yeah. Because I think 11 is a little
Too
early.
Okay.
Because by the time we are doing, I'm talking about like Indian curriculum, right?
Yeah.
So by the time you're doing like your half yearly exams,
Yeah. Around
then-
October, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's when their term starts in the
Yeah,
UK.
August and all,
Okay.
yeah.
So obviously it doesn't make sense starting your application from, but once you finish your half yearlies and towards the end of the year, so December is when you start applying so that you can join
Yeah.
the year that's coming
They're
up.
coming
Exactly,
up.
yeah.
And that's when you get in like all your teachers' recommendation letters from like maybe your peers, counselors, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And IELTS score, you get that in. Once that is sent and then the university accepts it, then the whole process of applying for the visa to go there as a student starts,
Oh,
which is a
yeah.
separate headache altogether.
Oh,
And I think
man,
it's
reminding
worse
me.
for the US, right? If I'm not wrong.
I
More
wouldn't say
than UK.
worse. It's very same to what Rohan went through. So my parents realized that there was no chance I was getting into India. Like my grades were coming. Like there were some exams. They literally were moving houses recently, and during the move, they found like I got like some 3 out of 70 in chemistry.
Okay.
So my parents realized very early on like this guy's not gonna crack India for shit. So
because you have entrance exams that are tough in India.
Yeah.
Way
Like
harder. Like
the All India
like
ones and the IIT
what is it to
ones.
get into AIMS in Delhi? It's in Delhi, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's like how many applicants and only what 21, 40 students get in or something?
Really?
Dude, it's
Is
in
that for the per subject or like
no.
per
Overall,
semester?
overall for that year, it's like double digits of students that get in, but there's like lakhs.
So it's a very minute.
It's
percentage
insane,
of
dude. Like,
India.
plus I knew I was never going to be a doctor, anyways. Like,
Doctor.
Dr. Balla has a
uh,
ring, but
it has a ring to it, but no. So yeah, my parents realized US was kind of going to be the place, and being the only child, I think they realized like the funds were luckily there. I wasn't.
Oh, they're like, we'll just blow it all on this guy. And
Exactly.
Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
all in.
So yeah, I think it was around 12th grade, same. Around 12th, I would say, yeah, like those half-yearly exams were done. And I think I started around like a little bit around maybe a month or two after summer school. I mean, not summer school, sorry, but the summer break we had. And yeah, so I went to I went to this thing called Princeton Review, Score Plus, I think, in Bar Dubai. They told me like, okay, these are your grades, so don't imagine looking at MIT and Harvard. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. No shit. I'm like, yeah, okay, just help me find out universities that are more in my line. So applied to a bunch of universities. So at least in the US, it was luckily that you have a lot of, like same I think in the UK, you have like one portal where you apply to a bunch of universities,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
per application you pay some insane amount of fees or something.
Oh, okay.
I was like at $100 per application or something.
Ouch.
My parents were like, okay, fine, like we can afford 5 or 6 universities.
Right.
So did that. So yeah, apply to the universities to the program you want, and then so basically you apply to only one specific program,
Of course, yeah.
and then the university will say that okay, yes or no, and then basically if they feel you are a fit for a different program, they'll respond back saying that oh, okay, no, thanks for your application, you've been accepted, but to so and so. Like so, for example, University of Cincinnati, I applied into their computer science degree, but they accepted me into their IT applications, and I was like, that doesn't sound exciting at
okay,
all.
but like so.
But yeah, so
yeah, go ahead.
but yeah, so basically I did the applications, then they sent in the acceptances or rejections. There was a lot of online seminars they would do for international students. I don't know if they did that for you.
No, so I held it once I finished my first year.
Okay.
Okay, so for me at least, like there was a lot of the universities doing online seminars. You kind of talk to the counselors and stuff because we can't do real campus tours sitting in Dubai. So I went to a few of those, and every time I would connect to those, I would see peers from our school joining that.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, no chance. This university is out. Like I wanted to. So for me, university was a place where I could literally be
Start
the
fresh.
boss. Yes, start fresh.
Okay.
Because in school, I had a pretty bad repute.
So I think we'll come to that point.
Yeah.
But like if there's so for people who are trying to apply now.
Oh yeah, for trying to
like,
apply. Honestly,
the
yeah.
Top 2 things they have to keep in
Okay.
mind on
Do
what
the
you think.
SATs. Started early. Doesn't matter. Like some people in our class itself started doing the SATs in 11th.
In 11th, right?
In 11th, it's a smart decision because you have nothing to lose and only money. Okay, yes, you spend money, but you get an attempt.
You
It's
get
a
extra time. You get
4-hour
extra
long
time.
exam, dude. Like no sane person can do that. Do the SATs in 11th grade. It's easy. And honestly, one thing is if you're going to America, there's this thing called the AP exams. So basically, being international students, these are like advanced placement courses in the US. So basically, if you take an exam and you do a good enough score, you can skip all the basic electives in university.
Oh,
Exact-
you skip
Okay.
on the foundation.
Exactly.
courses. Right,
Because
right.
like for CBSE, we all know how rigorous the curriculum is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to the US, take AP exams and you can skip a lot of those stuff and actually graduate quickly.
Nice.
Okay, that's nice. And okay, so starting about like a fresh perspective, I think that was the same thing for me. In school, I was quite reserved, quite shy, but I sort of made it a point in my mind to do a lot more things in college. But like, how was your first day or the orientation that you have in university? Were you with your parents? What was it like?
Yeah. So luckily because my mom was in the airline field,
Okay.
I had the opportunity to go for their open day. So
Okay.
I flew from here, checked out the open day and stuff, came back, and then I think it was the last week of September that we again flew with all my luggage and stuff like that to move in, right? And we were given just about a day or two to get my keys, get my locker, where my emails and packages will come, and to get like all the information I require to begin my year
Yeah.
as a fresher. So I was staying on campus, right? They give preference also to international students, so that they are more in a, I would say, safer environment.
Yeah.
But you're still treated as an adult. Like there's nobody who's going to look after you
Look
and
after you,
stuff
okay.
like that. Like it's not like Indian hostels where you have a warden and someone that you report to, and then you need
Yeah.
to be indoors. It's like your own flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only thing is just don't make noise, don't go crazy, and other things like.
Yeah.
So on the first day that we landed, went into town. Yeah, this is something I would say is very important. A lot of students go there unprepared for this. You need to get like bedding, plates,
Okay.
buy that stuff, and then
And
go
then
there.
go there.
You know,
Okay.
lot
I
of
would say
times.
the opposite because it's so heavy. It's cheaper to buy it there.
Yeah, so if you're traveling,
Or
with
at
your
least
family,
plan where you're supposed
your
to buy.
family can have one suitcase of
That's
just
true,
clothes
yeah.
for like 2-3
Yeah.
days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest of it can all be your stuff.
Your
like
stuff, okay.
you like approximately in a flight ticket you get 30
Yeah,
kilograms. Like let's
exactly,
say it's 2 parents and a kid, like a
Good
you know,
120
like a
easy.
nuclear family.
Yeah.
You still have 90 kgs going.
Exactly. Yeah.
So carry like beddings, carry your crockery, basic utilities.
Yeah.
Bathroom stuff, things like that.
Mhm.
Then yeah, if you're someone who is very very particular about your food,
Oh yeah.
then I would say take your spices or masalas or whatever
Okay.
you need
Yeah.
to survive.
Take the
Because-
chakna lads. That's what it is.
Yeah, take a chakna for the, you know who you are. So once you reach there, right, then it can be quite overwhelming where you realize, oh, I don't have so many things to start living here suddenly, right?
Yeah.
Away from home, especially,
Oh, yeah.
Then what happened was, like, obviously my first day went in all, like, I just realized, oh, I don't even have a bag to carry my books to my classes. Like, that's how last minute,
Yeah.
things
You-
were for
okay.
me. So bought a sling bag. I still have it with me though, because that was like my
Ooh.
memory. So it was big enough to take books and laptops, and if needed for parties, certain
Certain other
Certain
other
substances.
items, okay.
No, I wouldn't say substances.
Oh,
that's a
okay.
So
very-
that's the wrong word.
that's a very dangerous- liquid formed things.
Oh, okay, okay,
Everyone knows. So, yeah, and then once that was done, obviously my parents were asked to leave, and this is where my parents got like a culture shock, right? Because they expected it to be like Indian universities.
Oh, like the
and,
kids and the parents together?
Yeah. Like where they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
ask for the parents' details and stuff.
Oh,
as
okay,
guardian.
okay.
If
Oh,
your
okay.
child
Something.
messes up or there's something,
Yeah, yeah.
can we call and tell you that he was caught doing this or he's been like this?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they looked at my mom and they were like, no, he's an adult. He's accountable for his own actions. I had the biggest smile. My mom had the biggest frown. It was like a total opposite reaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when she got oh, okay, all right. So you're actually going to be on your own. You're accountable for your own life and your own actions. And yeah, they left. So on the first day, which was a Monday,
Yeah.
was like we were assigned, like guides. So
Oh,
they
okay.
were second year students, third year students who were
Yeah.
volunteering to show all the freshers. So all the freshers met in the common room or the common kitchen, and then we introduce ourselves, and then they take you on the first night itself around campus, but bar hopping. And I was
What?
like,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes,
something
drinking age is
that's
what?
something
18.
So,
okay,
yeah.
that's something I've not heard of. That's a
Yeah,
pretty good
same.
one. Okay, that's nice.
Because in UK drinking age is 18, right? So since you're 18.
So the seniors take you out.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
seniors take you and they, like have games. So like how in schools you have
Yeah.
different houses,
Yeah.
or in college like how you have different sororities, and that's
Yeah.
where you live, right?
Yeah.
So in ours, in the university, they were called separate colleges. So
Yeah.
each accommodation was called a college.
A different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had about 9 colleges, and each college had its own bar. So we would go to their
Inside
bar.
the university. Okay.
It's
okay.
all inside the university. So we would go to their bar, have our chants. So because I belong to like Grisdale, we'd be like, who are we? Grisdale, here we are, Grisdale, and just
Okay.
walk and chant and do this crap. And they would do it to us.
Okay, but that's nice.
That's
I mean,
cool.
that's a nice
Yeah.
way to
Exactly.
break the ice
Exactly.
from the seniors.
Yeah.
as
And
well.
then on the second day, they took us into town, showed us where the groceries are, where the common places, where's the town center, where can you catch your buses from,
Okay.
to go into town, come back in
Yeah.
university. On the third day, they took us to like the whole fitness area because my university is like huge, right?
True, yeah.
Like you required buses to go to your class. That's how big it was. It
Damn.
was that big, and so they would show us where the gym is, where's the auditorium, the hall. The fourth day was when you could join clubs and societies. So there
Yes.
was a huge auditorium filled with people with their desks and their tents,
Okay.
and they're like, so yeah, I would say that was also another thing I didn't realize. Keep some change with you. Like open your bank account as soon as you can.
Yeah.
If possible, do it on the first day itself. It's super vital that you have your bank account set up, because then if you need to order stuff, buy stuff, you don't want to always be carrying the cash that your parents left you with your pocket money, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly,
hard
yeah.
cash in your room. Like one drunk night mistake, and you're like, it's all on you guys. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So very important that you have your bank account
Yeah.
set up.
That's nice.
Have some change on you,
That's true,
because
yeah.
when you have to join these societies, there's a small fee you need to pay.
You need to pay.
Whoa,
So that
what?
you can join. Yeah, when I say fee, I mean like £1.
Okay, that's
£2,
different.
like-
Okay.
It's just
I didn't
for
have
like
that.
the society fund.
Yes,
like-
I think in the States you just sign up, right?
Yeah, for us it was just signing up. All organizations were free. Oh, my American accent's coming out.
I got a reason back to Chicago.
So yeah, for me at least, all of them were run by students for students, and funding was from the university actually.
Yeah,
So we didn't have any kind of £1 obligation fee.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
this-
cool.
Even so these were run by students,
Yeah.
but funding was only given by the university. Like
If you
have
showed
to, the
apply.
university treated it like a bank.
Yeah.
Right? So you apply for the funding. If we think your event is going to raise this much, awareness or whatever the purpose of
Then
your
the-
event is,
Yeah.
and the culture is showcased and
Exactly,
things like that,
yeah.
okay, then we will give you the money, and then you can
Okay.
hold the event
Yeah.
and things like that.
But I think what you said about that seniors point is something I've not really heard.
Yeah.
For most Indian students, I think their university life or getting into the college for the first time or hostel for the first time is
Yeah.
there's something which people know as ragging and how the
Yeah.
seniors
Oh, yeah.
welcome you. So it's different in UK.
Oh,
What about your
so-
experience?
So for me, yeah, dude, going there. So my parents made it like a whole family trip. So this was the first time we were going to the US. So like we went to New York first, and okay, I flew this airlines. I'll not name them just because I don't want to go to jail. So we flew out at we flew out 10 o'clock in the morning or something, 12 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
and basically what I had done was, I'm like, okay, it's a long 13 or 15 hour flight. Makes sense that I don't sleep the night before, sleep on the plane. That way I'll sleep off like 10 hours, wake up 5 hours, and whatever, then I'm fine. I've slept 6 hours into the flight, or at least another 7 hours. And I wake up and my mom is next to me. I'm like, oh, so we must be halfway there or something. She's like, no, beta, we are over Bahrain right now. I'm like, whoa, like, why are we over Bahrain? Like, Bahrain's like quite close, like 1 hour flight, I think, 2 hours.
Yeah, from Dubai, yeah.
She's like, no, we flew out. Some dude decided to have a heart attack
Oh.
or some medical emergency. I won't assume it was a heart attack. Maybe to him, he was getting penis enlargement and it went bad, whatever.
Yeah, the air pressure inside the aircraft caused it.
Exactly, yeah. But so basically, yeah, my flight to the US the first time was delayed 12 hours. And
Whoa.
since, yeah,
So wait, you slept in the flight
When
yeah,
you
I
were
slept in the flight.
throughout the delay?
No. So luckily, when we landed back in Dubai, it was about, I think it'd been about 6 hours. Because when you fill up the plane, you need to dump all that fuel out. You can't land with
Yeah.
so much fuel.
Yeah.
So they dumped a lot. They flew around a lot. Then we landed, and then I think there was a 4 hour delay. And then they gave us meal vouchers to just eat.
And then board the flight.
and then board the flight
Okay,
again.
okay.
So this time I was like fully fresh, stayed up the whole thing.
So basically, your plan got
My plan was
Sabotaged.
completely sabotaged, like whatever. Nonetheless, so we land in New York, have a trip around, whatever. Then we come back to the US. This is the best moment. Okay, this is where I kind of was a little skeptical about my university. So we get a taxi from the airport and we're going to this hotel somewhere pretty close to my uni, but not really at the time. And he's like, oh, so what brings you to the US? Because obviously we sound like foreigners, look like foreigners. They're like, oh, my parents are like, yeah, he's gone to university. He's going to go to the Illinois Tech. He's like, oh, that's amazing. I'm studying there. I'm like, dude, I am going to a uni where this guy's like a mechanical engineer and he's talking about he loves the program and this and that. And he's a taxi driver. I'm like, I'm losing confidence in my choice because I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, this could be me, and like, it is. No, taxi driver's great job, but. Sorry about that. But yeah, so basically, okay, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a little rough school, maybe. I don't know.
But okay, what was your parents' reaction? 'Cause
I think my parents were like happy. They're like, oh, look at Americans. They're so outgoing. They'll do anything for money.
Independent, yeah.
Independent. That's the word. They're like,
or maybe he was working part time.
exactly, yeah, because he said he was working part time. But my parents were like, wow, he must be so, like resourceful. Like, he's not being a leech like our son. Like just taking their, like he's taking ownership of his tuition and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
What happened when you joined? So how did your process go? Like
exactly, yeah. So once I joined in, yeah, let's skip it. So basically, there was this one day for check-in. Basically, they gave me my room keys and told me that, okay, you can't go to your room until a certain time. But I asked them, like, can I do an early check-in before? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I got my stuff. They saw my mailbox and stuff. So basically, for us, it was a little easier. We had one campus kind of mail facility, and because each package was named, so they would tell you that, okay, they'll email you like, okay, you have a package, pick it up, whatever. Then picked up my stuff. Orientation was pretty cool. I went from room to room around the campus, so you kind of got to see the campus as well as learning about the history of the campus. And basically, it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. We went a lot of drinking with seniors, but like a lot of seniors I got to know from them. Like, oh, these people are so cool. They're so independent. Like, look at them, like giving campus tours, like real adults. And I'm here, still thinking about the skid marks I have.
Okay, I don't want to know what that is.
But whatever.
Moving on.
Yeah. So yeah, university, like, okay, so then my parents didn't do the whole thing of buying everything in Dubai and taking it there, because we're like, because it's US, you want to buy the US stuff because that's probably what's more acclaimed to the environment, and plus like Chicago's super cold, so it's pretty nice. Yeah,
sure.
Basically get there, and then this is the thing, okay, when I walk into my room, okay, so they had sent me an email saying that, okay, this is your roommate's email address, like you can communicate with him. I was like, okay, let me send an email introducing myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Bhav, I'm doing computer science, I'm a pretty techie guy, I like stay up late at nights, so like I hope that's cool with you, and I like music.
Were you hitting on it?
I mean, I wanted to make sure we were both chill, okay, so this is coming from
Vibe check, okay.
like a pure vibe check, because my perspective of Chinese students in the US was...
Oh, he was a Chinese.
So he was Chinese, yeah. So he's from the northern part of China, so he was used to the cold and stuff, but I was scared he's gonna be these like typical nerds, like just studying all the time, and like I was like, fuck, I don't want that kind of vibe in my room. I walk in and this kid is like legit in his boxers, a t-shirt, reading an aerospace textbook. I'm like, fuck, this guy's like one of those nerds, like fuck it, he's gonna be lame as shit. I'm whatever. My parents were in the room, they kind of helping me unpack and stuff, and then my parents head out and I'm in the room.
Are you still friends with him?
Dude, we're best friends to date.
Okay, if you're hearing the story,
Shout out
to you.
He knows the story. Dan Zhang, if you're listening, or what's your name? Wang Kiao Zhong.
Wait, that was his English name?
Yeah, so he had an American name, yeah.
Yeah.
So I asked him, like, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you studying. And this is his first dialogue in his like kind of broken but good English. He's like, oh man, no worries, dude. I'm just seeing how fucked I am. I was like, oh my god, this guy's my best friend. Then so basically, I got you set up in university through that. When I joined, I think they set an earlier date for international students to check in.
Yeah.
So
they always do that, yeah.
So me and this roommate became really good friends with this guy who was a transfer student. So he did 2 years in community college and then transferred to our university.
Right.
So he was kind of like very well versed with the US.
Right.
He was this Indian guy from Thailand, and we bonded over shitting on India together.
Oh.
So yeah, honestly, yeah. So we had like very similar experiences to you. Like we had a student org fair where you go around, walk around, get, some orgs will give out free stuff. You'll get to eat free food. So that was one of the days where there was a fraternity and sorority thing. So I'm like, damn, dude, like why the fuck is everyone joining fraternities? Sororities are where it should be. And then I found out like apparently there's like sexist people. Like, oh, women join sororities, men join fraternities. So yeah, it's fine.
What about you, man?
But yeah, others, dude.
For me, yeah, it was kind of different from your entire
So
experience.
this is studying in Dubai, right?
In
Yeah.
Dubai, because I live in Dubai, so I don't have that hostel or that boarding experience as such.
Okay, yeah.
So our university does, it obviously had a hostel for people coming in mostly from India if they wanted to stay over there. But yeah, I remember I think the first day, the orientation as such, I had gone to like an open day before I joined with my dad just to see the university. And then once I went there, you go with your parents again for this entire orientation. So and it's all planned out on what you're supposed to do. So it's like the basic things of getting your admission, making that ID card, taking that picture, getting your timetable and those kind of things. So I do remember getting in, not knowing a lot of people, but coincidentally there were a lot of people from our school who actually went to the same place.
Right.
But I think for me it was like sort of finding other people who I did not know and trying to make friends with them, because I wanted to see
coming out of your shell.
coming out of the
Definitely.
shell. And for me, as I said, I was very reserved and shy. I really did not know how to make friends. So it was literally like I spoke to a person for like 5 minutes. Okay, where are you from? And I would just ask them their number and let's stay in touch for college. That was literally what I did for the first 2 days. But it was fun. So there's a thing with our university that was when you selecting I don't know how many universities have it, but you can actually the next day you select your timetable, meaning if you have a math class, you can choose what time you want it, and depending on which teacher is taking it. So that happened the next day of the main orientation. So me being someone who likes going prepared, like they give you a list of all the teachers, all the classes, all the timings. So I used to like make a mock timetable as such and see if I could match it. But the funny part is, and everyone who studied in the university knows this, is that every semester when you're doing this timetable thing, so they put you in slots of getting inside the room to select it. So say for example you're in the morning slot, you're in the afternoon, and I'm in the evening. But how they decide that is like a complete random lucky draw based on a priority. It's called a priority number. So maybe if you were priority number 10, then that's how you got your morning slot, and if I was 300, then I would come later on. And the funny thing is, it for students in the first semester, they don't know who the teachers are or who are the good teachers. I mean, people recommend. So that priority number doesn't really matter, because even I did not know who were the better teachers.
But do you lose out slots if you come in the evening?
Yes,
for sure.
that's the thing. So if, for example, if I want a particular teacher, I know this person is really good, but if I get my priority number at like say 300 or 400, I know there's no way that class is going to be free by the time I get in. So that was something I realized later on, but it was fun in the first orientation. I didn't have that hostel orientation as such, but a similar I think with the seniors, that's where my experience was a little different from yours, because being an Indian college, it did have that sort of, I won't say ragging because that's like an extreme sort of word, but I remember the first day where there was this, we just start meeting people, right? You start meeting people, forming like a group, and this bunch of us, like around 10 to 15 people, were just sitting in a room, not wanting to go out alone, because people could sort of, come at you, or who are you, start sort of
like bullying you,
light ragging you in a sense. But then it broke off in a few days, and to be very honest, it was fun after a point, because all the seniors over there, that's how they sort of get to know you, by sort of getting your intro or making you sing a song or like dance on the spot.
You sang a song, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So I had a trick to it, because I sing. When people asked you like, what can you do for us, I used to just say I can sing a song. So it was fun, but
so you had your party trick ready.
Yeah, and
what was your go-to song?
I didn't have like any of these.
Gulabi
Yeah, I think probably that came to mind. But the same thing happened in the bus as well. So I had a different. Yeah, so you had that staying in the hostel night experience. For me, it was the bus experience.
Right.
And the tradition in the bus was there was the same. Like the seniors would ask all the juniors to introduce themselves, and they used to say that you guys have to plan a pizza party for us. And that was something particularly in the bus I took. I don't know if it happened in the other ones.
Okay.
But that continued till I reached my 4th year as well. So we used to tell the juniors that this is your treat, sort of a thing, which everyone sort of obliged on. But it was like a fun way to just get to know each other. So yeah, I think that was it. How was your say the first week of making friends? I mean, since I brought that topic, because I
Yeah.
know in the first year, at least for me,
Oh yeah.
we always have that. I don't know if it's the same for others, but there's a trend of you having a huge group of friends, and that slowly
Yeah.
gets getting reduced by the time you reach your fourth year. Was it similar on making friends and how it went along?
For me, it was the opposite. My group became bigger and bigger and bigger till the time I graduated.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's something different. I'm not okay.
So I'm coming from like the school of thought where I can easily I always had like good number
A group of
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
And being well known like in school and stuff like that, right? So in university it was different because I knew how to make friends with Indian students, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm like different cultures, so I walk in and I thought, okay, everyone on my floor. So we had like floors in
Yeah.
our block. So eight rooms in one floor, and you shared the washroom and the kitchen,
Okay.
right?
Wait, you guys had a kitchen?
Yeah, we had like a common kitchen.
Oh,
So
man,
you
that's-
could cook for yourself.
Yeah. You could cook for yourself. and
Dude, that's
stuff.
so cool.
We also had like different blocks, which was slightly higher priced, where you got meal coupons, and you could go down to the canteen and get your meals from there. So we had both options. So they
Okay.
would provide you a breakfast and dinner.
Okay.
Lunch, because obviously it can't be at the same time, and many students would lose out on it because
Yeah.
depending on their modules and the timing and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm.
So breakfast and dinner was given by the university. So you pay
Yeah.
a fixed price. and
Exactly. Yeah.
You get that. So yeah, if you're someone who doesn't know how to cook, I would say get that because it's a fixed cost.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to worry about groceries and utensils and stuff like. I mean, you just have
Exactly,
to
yeah.
get basic things.
Mm.
You don't have to go grocery shopping and things. You can just
Yeah.
go and buy like things like eggs, milk, cereal, bread,
That's true.
and any other condiments that you love, like ketchup and stuff like that,
Yeah.
chips and stuff. Just to stock up your room.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
otherwise, your food is taken care of. But if you want a cheaper option, then obviously yes, just paying for the accommodation, then managing your groceries and
Oh, yeah.
cooking helps.
Oh yeah.
So we had a kitchen. So
Yeah.
that's where I met my flatmates, right?
Okay.
So you don't share the room. Your room is your own. It's like a small studio room. You have a desk, table,
Okay.
cupboard. A
Yeah.
So
bed.
this was, I mean, your accommodation was from the university, or did
Yeah.
you
It
take
was
it
from the
school?
university. Yeah,
Oh,
it was from
okay.
the university. So all 3 years I stayed on campus.
Okay.
I never left campus.
Oh yeah.
So I met my flatmates for the first time in the kitchen. So the first person I see being a 17-year-old, because my birthday was in November. And I started in
Yeah.
October, right? So I was still 17. I had a month to go before I turned 18. So the first person I see is this 25-year-old Australian dude who's doing like his final year. And I was like, are you a postgrad? Because this wing is only for undergrads. He's like, no, I'm an undergrad, dude. It's just that I decided to do my university much later. I was like, okay. So he's like, yeah, I'm just here for my final year. And it was so nice to talk to someone. And
That's cool.
Because I had certain insecurities in my head, oh, how am I going to talk to these guys? Or
Yeah.
are they going to be cool about me and my accent or what I think and my opinions?
Yeah.
Because I was used to being around Indian kids
Indian
all
kids.
the
Exactly.
time,
All the
even
time,
though we
yeah.
lived in Dubai. My building, my school, my bus, everywhere it was them. That's why I guess we never learned how to speak Arabic,
Wallahi, what are you talking about?
No, that is a bad imitation. That is racist as crap. But you are true. So, yeah. And it was very refreshing. So, I think in the first week, it was easy to mingle. And then in the first
Yeah.
month, I had a few close friends.
Yeah.
There was a Pakistani student who was born and brought up in Manchester. So, he's
Okay.
basically British.
Yeah.
Another Indian guy who lived in the floor above.
Oh.
Everyone else was from different parts of UK. Someone came from Nigeria. A lot of
Ooh.
friends who came from
Okay.
Russia, Bulgaria, and that was the mix that I had, right?
Yeah.
And on our floor, it was only guys.
Yeah.
The floor on top was mixed. The floor below us was also mixed. And I was like, it's kind of shady. I mean, why is our floor only guys? Especially we're sharing showers.
Yeah.
And we would hear these stories where these guys and girls would bump outside the shower and be like, oh,
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
it was like a fully mixed
Yeah.
thing.
So 4 rooms
Okay.
girls, 4 rooms boys. And ours, all 8 were guys. And every time someone would leave from our floor,
It's another guy.
we would just pray like, oh, let it be a girl, and it will always be a guy. And I didn't understand this, right? A year gets over, and they ask us to fill the form again for for requesting for accommodation.
Yeah.
So what you would like to do? Would you like to upgrade to a better room, which has like the shower also inside, so it's like a mini ensuite? Or would you like to go into a bigger room, which is a studio room, where you have your own kitchen as well? Your kitchen, everything is in your room itself, so it's a studio room, right?
Okay.
Nice.
So they had all those options. And then there was an option, would you like your floor to be guys only or girls mixed?
Oh,
Oh.
most
And
of
that's when I knew my parents set me up for this. Guys only. And I was like, they didn't even let me have a chance.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, that's it. This is when I get my money back. I went full Joey mode. I was like, yeah, this is when I get my money back. And I was like, mix.
Put me in the all women's door.
And then, yeah, but
I think that's also sort of a huge, I won't say huge cultural difference, but at least people, at least for Indians,
yeah,
either
because-
coming from India or even brought up over
because
here.
even when we were brought up in
Here,
Dubai, if it's students studying in India, it's co-education. Right?
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have girls studying with
In
you
the
in the same class.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't sit together on the same
Yeah.
bench,
Yeah.
but at least they're in the classroom with
Exactly.
study together.
But there's even studying together, but living together is like a
It's a
different,
whole
is a
different
whole
thing,
different
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And respecting boundaries.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I learned what having a sock on the door
Oh.
or a cap on the door meant.
Meant, okay.
I just thought someone forgot it. Like they probably were drunk the previous night. And I was like, oh, I just took it off. And I was like, kept in the kitchen, put a nice cute note, hey, found the sock to whoever it belongs.
That is
And
amazing.
then immediately the next morning, all the guys were asked to meet up. All the 8 guys in the kitchen. There was like, one of the dudes was like, so his name was Sam, right? Australian dude. Still talk to him on and off. Now he's a dad and stuff.
Okay.
So he was like, everybody meet in the kitchen in the evening at this. And there was a note left in the morning, right? And everyone read it and they're like, what happened? Like, usually this kind of stuff happens if someone's food goes missing or
Yeah, like something
you know,
urgent
something
happened.
like that, serious stuff, right? Then he was like, who wrote this note about the sock? Now I'm scared. Because this is a 25-year-old Australian guy asking me and I'm the only Indian on that floor. So I was like, oh, you're not gonna get me. And then I think it showed on my face and he was like, Rowan, never Rohan. He never got the H. It was always W for him. Rowan. Was it you, buddy? And I'm like, why me first? Like, there's this Nigerian dude called Prince. Ask him.
Wait, you had a Nigerian prince in your...
No, his
Dude,
name was.
yeah, it's a common name.
No. Why I asked? Because, I mean,
The scam, we all know.
scam, the Nigerian
Yeah.
prince. So his name was actually... Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his name was Prince. His name was Prince. So I was like, why don't you ask Prince? Or why don't you ask Kosio? Kosio was the guy from Bulgaria. Or I was like, why don't you ask Kiani? He was the Pakistani dude who was bronze. So I'm like, why don't you ask any of these dudes? Why me first? Because I already spoke to the rest of them. They all know the purpose of the sock. I was like, what? It was just there on the handle. He's like, so it was you. Okay, yeah, it was me. I thought someone just kept it there and I was just being kind. He's like, okay, that's nice of you. But when I keep a sock on the door, or if any of the dudes on this floor keeps a sock on their door or a cap on their door, on the handle, it means
Something.
we have company.
Exactly.
Oh, so sorry. Never gonna happen. So that's when I learned a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was
But
fun.
what about your... I know you were part of fraternity and you
Yeah.
lived
Yeah,
outside
this is
campus.
something I
Exactly,
didn't have
yeah.
in UK.
Yeah. And you
So-
lived outside the college.
You lived off campus.
Exactly, yeah. So I had the whole experience, luckily. So my friend circle was, it actually grew very fast in the beginning and it relatively stayed the same. So what happened was, so when our university started off, okay, there was this rumors going around. This one girl who was like 16, this Russian girl, and everyone's like, oh damn, dude, there's a 16-year-old Russian girl, looks super cute. And like the whole campus is talking about her. It's like every single person had that person's like on their lips. And then so I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So this one Indian guy I met like during our orientation, and he was pretty cool. He was like, I think he had hopped around the world a lot. He was like part Japanese and stuff. So he seemed like a cool guy. and you were talking about likes and dislikes. So I'm sitting at this lunch table, and so I'm like, oh damn, okay. So he was sitting. So this is one of my suite mates. So I stayed in a traditional like American dorm, you can call it. So there's basically there was one entrance, but there was like multiple floors, multiple halls and stuff. And within each hall there were 4 floors. So I was on like the second floor. It was all boys, undergrad. I think there were about 13, 14 rooms. Each room had 2 people.
So you had like
Yeah.
you had a proper roommate. Not
Yeah, like a full-blown
not
roommate.
Like a floor mate.
Yeah,
I
like
think you're living like you had a whole house together and then you shared that house.
you could say it less like that, more like imagine it's like a small corridor with rooms on each side.
Okay.
And the room is, I would say, as big as like a average living room. Like there's just enough space for a desk, a bed, and like a small wardrobe, and that's it. One on each side, and that's it. So we had like a full common bathroom, no kitchen, but yeah, just a common bathroom where you could shit, shower, shave. And basically, oh my god. So yeah, come back to the point. So I'm sitting at lunch, and there's this girl next to him, and I'm like, oh, what's her name? He's like, Melissa. I'm like, oh, dude, where are you from? She's like, I'm Russian. I'm like, then it clicks in my mind. I'm like, how old are you? She's like, today's my birthday. I'm 17 now. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, do you know the whole university is talking about you? She's like, what's your name? I'm like, Bob. She's like, Bob, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, dude. It blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, whatever, okay, fine. Till this day. So me and her are still best friends, no doubt about that.
But what did you do for like food and stuff?
Yeah, so for food, luckily I was very easy. So we had like a cafeteria called the Commons. So breakfast, lunch, dinner was included, and this is because of the US. So basically, breakfast was from like 6 in the morning till like about 8. Lunch was between 12:40 to 2, and dinner was 4:30 to 7. So that's why I don't know if you guys have noticed. I eat dinner in the office at like around 6.
Yeah.
It's just this habit like I have in the US. I get hungry at around 6 o'clock now. So yeah, basically through her, then classes were a very beneficial thing of making friends. So being, like you said, if we were talking about being co-ed and also, yeah, Deepesh Sharjah was like all dudes from 5th on till 12th, and then of course it was basically like that. It was mostly dudes hanging out all the time. So
I think that's just a Dubai thing.
Just a very-
It's changed a lot now.
changed
There are a lot of
Yeah.
schools that are co-ed now.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, back then in the Middle East, it used
Yeah.
to be like guys in a separate building,
Exactly, yeah.
girls in a separate building.
I think for me that was another sort of change in university.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even because you're back to being in the same class.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
yeah, in university you're in the same class
in
over
the
here.
same
Exactly,
class,
yeah.
and you start making friends who are also
Exactly,
again and girls, and the funny thing was for me again making friends. As I said, anyone I used to meet, I used to like pretty much like ask their number and get some
yeah.
contact.
Oh, and these
So-
girls were like, no.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
was
what-
not like, luckily it wasn't like that, but I did feel awkward at times to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But then it just like, because everyone sort of knew, so they're also like, they know you're just trying to get to know each other, making friends.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was fine. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. we
Yeah.
can-
So basically, yeah. So that was what was I on about?
The food.
The food, yeah, the food. No, I was talking about class. Okay, so women, different. Okay, my first math class. So we had like a group project on Mathematica. It's like this algebra tool thingy. Literally, I'm in this group with 3 other women. I'm like, dude. Like, I come back to my roommate. I'm like, yo, dude. I'm getting like, this is America. I'm getting laid tonight. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with
This
you?
is what happens. They all base
All-
their college experience
all
by watching American Pie.
Pie.
Exactly.
That is not how it works. That is not reality. Guys, that is not reality. Understand this.
Exactly.
Oh, dude.
So basically, it's me and these 3 other women, and I to this date like joke with them. I'm like, I got your phone number in class on day 1 for them some math, and they're always like, "Bah, shut the fuck up."
But when
But-
you did your
Yeah.
like subjects and modules being in an Indian university, like based in Dubai, did you have like more mugging up to do?
I won't say
It's a
that,
good
but in I think it's the same with other Indian universities, that the first year that you do is common, regardless of the specialization that you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
we had that as well.
Yeah. So I had taken computer science, but like your first year you have
common module.
Yeah,
common
gen eds.
subjects.
Yeah.
And something specifically in our university was you had even biology as a subject, which
Yeah.
you don't generally have in universities. So I think for me, it was not about the mugging up part of it. Maybe the first year, because you have such subjects very very similar to what you did in your 12th grade,
Yeah.
that concept kind of kicks in, but only for like certain subjects where you're not getting into your own field.
Mhm.
But then from the second year, it was
Yeah, okay.
about understanding the concept.
Nice.
I think that part of it was different from the actual mugging up part. I think that's one thing. If in school, if you learn about actually understanding the concept and then trying to do that,
Yeah.
that actually helps in your university life as
No.
well. I don't know if
Dude, I'll
That
totally
was,
agree.
That was
'Cause
a
it-
big change for me.
Because in school was like all mugging up, but in college is where I learned to actually learn. Because
Yeah.
there were so many times like you memorize like a bunch of formulas of trigonometry and stuff, and you realize you don't need trigonometry in the day-to-day life, irrespective of how much they say. Oh, you need to know. You don't. You can get by.
But like I think what the mistake, or I now I consider it as a mistake, was I took the first semester like way too casual, because you're new into university. Even though you're living with your parents and stuff. But for me at least, it
Yeah.
was like, okay, school's done. I can sort of like go chill around,
Yeah.
hang out with my friends, do a lot of things. And I very clearly remember, like after the first semester got over, like around like 4.5 months, you get your grade, and like I got the grade, and I was in front of a teacher like who I knew, who had taught me or something, and I was just looking at the GPA, that I was just staring at it like with full disappointment on my face, and she was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "I know I can do better than this." I was
Yeah.
disappointed in myself more than anything.
For me, I think it was
The opposite. I
the
did
opposite,
well in the
right?
first sem.
Like, because we went abroad
Yeah.
from an Indian curriculum.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I went there to see that your professors don't even
They
know
don't
you,
care.
No,
Yeah.
you all don't care.
you're on this huge auditorium.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying, for me the main thing was, the change of studying in an Indian system
Yeah.
where you literally just mugged up stuff, and you had like so much attention from your teachers, almost at a personal level, and then
Yeah.
you did your exams, and then everyone is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You all had to answer the exact same answer.
Yeah.
There was no two ways about it. You had
Exactly.
like a 10-mark question. These are the 5-6 points. They need to be elaborated like this. This is the only diagram or pie
Exactly.
chart
Yeah.
that's going to be there. But I went to UK, and the idea of having the independence to write and express your thoughts and opinions on the subject,
Yeah.
that was my first shock. Application of what you learned with your opinions on the matter, being critically thinking. There was no critical thinking before this.
Oh yeah. No.
Like what you think, what is the actual knowledge, and how you challenge or accept, or why you think it should work or shouldn't work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a constant debate.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that concept never sunk in with me at the first. Like the first, I think, essay I wrote, it was just about 1,500 words, right?
Yeah.
First semester, first essay was a trial essay. They said this will not be graded. I mean, like the grade won't be included. We will grade it.
Yeah.
It's not included to your marks.
Mm.
And I got an F.
Oh.
I was like, I in my head thought I did a fantastic job, right?
Yeah.
And she called me to the office. My lecturer called me to the office, and she's like, "Why is everything from Wikipedia and from textbooks and
Where's your original thoughts?
no?" And she's like, "And why is none of this referenced?" I'm like,
Ooh.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
referencing.
"Reference?" She's like, "This is plagiarism." I'm like, "What? What did I do?" And she's like, "That is a big offense. You know what plagiarism is, Rohan?" And I was like, "Okay, let me check it out." And then I was like, "Oh, this is an offense, and it's pretty serious." Like 80% of my report was plagiarized.
Oh.
Okay.
And that's when I realized what respecting others' work meant, what taking content from somewhere and referencing it, why you took it from there, or whose words these are meant.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me, and that is something that I think you're not aware of. When you're in school, you do your projects, you make projects in marketing about Toyota and this and that. You just paste
take it
stuff.
from anywhere.
Exactly.
You just paste facts, even if it's from the website. You just paste it. You're not referencing it.
Yeah.
So that is something I think that was like a big change for me. But,
Oh, yeah.
that was about studies. But coming to, since you spoke about sororities and stuff like that, did you join clubs and societies?
Those are my letters. Delta Tau Delta. So I joined a lot of clubs in college. So basically,
Give us like your top 5.
okay. So of course, first one, my fraternity, Delta Tau Delta. Then so in second semester of first year, me and a lot of friends of us started the first UNICEF at IIT.
UNICEF.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
all of us were pretty passionate about.
So that's 2.
Exactly. So those were the two most important ones. I mean, apart from that, I was part of a residence hall association.
What does that mean?
So basically, it was like we had an association for the student dorms,
Yeah.
and then each floor had a representative, and then you could then building had a representative as well. So basically, then you could collect feedback from student complaints and stuff. This is pretty nice. Like I have it on my resume once in a while.
3.
I mean, those were mostly it. Like really, otherwise I joined like around a bunch of them. I joined the Pakistan Student Association.
Wow.
Dude, because honestly, the Indian Student
Spy
Association,
mode. Oh,
Indian Student Association was fun,
Agent Balla.
but Pakistan Student Association was way more fun. Like they were very open-minded, very great people. Plus the food was always way better, dude. I don't know what it is, but like they were always the nicest people. Indian Student Association were like very bitchy. They were like, oh dude, you saw this, Modi is this, that. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit, dude. I really couldn't care. I have zero care about Indian politics. And Pakistan Association, they'll be talking about like the world politics and everything. I'm like, this is why these
more
are great.
stimulating.
Exactly,
Nice,
it was
nice.
way greater.
And give us the last one.
Oh man, I don't know. I think those are mostly it. Like I really didn't have a
What
lot.
about you? What clubs did you have? Top 5.
I don't think I joined 5, but because I was interested in music, that was the first one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to join a drama club actually. I wanted to get into like acting, and I've always sort of liked that kind of a field.
Yeah.
So they held some audition. I didn't pass it, so I couldn't join that. But music was one I did join. Then I joined for public speaking, the one which was
Oh.
on campus.
Right.
The other one I joined was for this social and environment sort of a thing.
Right.
And cut to like say 4 years later when we came, I really didn't do much in the public speaking one because they focused a lot on debates, which it was not like my thing to do.
Yeah.
With music, we actually did do some shows and performed in the university.
Yeah.
With the environment one, like I didn't do much, but at the end of it, like my best friend in college was like the president of that club.
Ooh.
And then I started a club in my 4th year, which was for Toastmasters.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
I think that's something like I sort of am proud of, that
Right.
by the time I left the university I started something.
Yeah.
And it's been like 4 years now, and that club is still there. Probably not in the best capacity that I would like to see it in, but that I actually left something over there.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
I think that was my main. What about you? I know
What
you were
about
also
you?
interested
Yeah.
in music, so
Oh,
you
yeah,
must
yeah.
have.
So
something.
I went looking for a music society, right?
Yeah.
So in my first year when we went for that fair thing, I joined almost like everything.
Same.
that
Yeah.
I saw.
Everything,
You
yeah.
sign up on
This is
everyone.
awesome. This is awesome. Oh, that is awesome.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like down 15-20 pounds. Like, oh my god, I don't have money for today's food. I don't want to withdraw cash. But I think the main one that I actively participated in was the Hip Hop Society.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, joined the Hip Hop Society. I really wanted to see what the hip hop culture was like, the dance and everything, right? And then after that, I joined the Indian Society so that I can meet other Indian students on
Yeah.
campus. Like,
Okay.
that's the safest bubble I think that you.
Yeah, everyone's told
you
to
see
do
some-
that.
Oh, you are here. Oh, I'm here too. Yes. So that was my main thing.
Yeah.
So Indian Society was second. Then there was something called as the Paco Society.
Ooh.
So I joined the Paco Society.
Damn.
Fell once and then I was like, yeah, that's it. Now going back there again. Then I joined the Football Society.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
but unfortunately I couldn't get into the university team because those guys were like mean, like they play proper rough. Not
And
like what
they
you
are-
play here.
yeah.
Yeah.
They are from UK.
Yeah,
They don't use a foil ball?
Huh? No, dude. like they're physically so
Yeah.
strong and
Strong.
tough. And I was like this skinny, lanky dude.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't happening for me. Then I think I joined something called as an Asian society as well. So everything came in that. So I joined Asian mainly understanding that it'll be like a mix of Indians, Chinese, everyone, right?
But it's only
And
Indian.
I
then
assume.
it was just Indians. It was just another. I felt like it was like
Part two.
politics happening within the
Ooh.
university. Where there's another Indian club and another Indian club, and they went head to head.
Gotcha.
But yeah, by the time I reached my second year, so towards the end of my first year, I became really good friends with the Indian Society guys. And they said, okay, you should join as a marketing officer. I was like, yeah, cool, of course.
Okay.
So marketing officer and public relations.
Yeah.
So because I had such a big friend circle, like I said earlier at the beginning of this podcast, I was able to get a lot of people into the events. Like I was
Yeah.
bringing in people, right?
Okay.
Crowds, my friends and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
By the time I became second year, I became VP of that society because a lot of the senior members graduated that year.
Yeah.
So a lot of the other existing members who were at the VP positions obviously became presidents or heads of departments. And then I became VP, and then we started hosting things like Desi nights in the clubs in town.
Oh.
I started then DJing for those events.
DJ
And then,
Rogi.
yeah, that's how DJ Rogi came into existence. So then I started DJing for these events. So we were making a lot of money from these events, right? From these
Yeah.
clubs, like as entry tickets and stuff like that. Then we started hosting Holi, Diwali, those kind of festivals so that people, students, freshers especially.
Yeah.
But the main thing I'm glad that we did as a society was doing these onboarding processes, right? So we would go to India, we would select 4 main cities,
Okay.
visit those cities, and the students who have applied to Lancaster or are thinking of applying to Lancaster, we would meet with them at a hotel, hold a
Oh,
seminar,
Oh,
tell them about
smart.
campus, show them about campus,
Yeah.
explain what our society does, introduce ourselves to their parents so that if
that's
they want to
smart.
reach out to us, when they're coming to the
So
university.
like,
and
did
things like that.
the society like fly you out to India or like what?
So
yeah,
this is
the
the university.
funded this.
I can imagine.
The
Yeah, this is
university
like a
would
great.
fund this for us. They're like, okay, this is a great initiative. Yes, we are getting a lot of students from India, and they did this also with the Chinese society. So the Chinese society
Okay.
also had a
Yeah.
huge volume because, like how you had BITS Pilani in UAE, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is headed by the main university, which
Yeah.
is in India.
In India.
Right? So similarly, Lancaster had its branch, like how we have Middlesex here. So Lancaster had a branch in China. So the students would do like
Yeah.
the first year there and then
Then
transfer
transfer.
and finish, or they would do their foundation there and then
Yeah.
come and finish this program here. So like that, I saw this as a great
Yeah.
opportunity to run things, and then I realized there is no Indian dance society, no?
Mm.
Doing bhangra, doing your Indian
Desi-
like,
desi
good
stuff.
desi stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then I founded that society, started it, registered it, and now it's still 7 years since it's been running, and
Yeah.
they've performed. We got to perform and show this, talent in front of the mayor of Lancaster, the
Ooh.
mayor of
okay.
Blackpool. We were called to perform in Preston, in Manchester or Birmingham's, fest or something like that. And it was pretty awesome that we got to go there. I mean, it's there
Yeah.
on my YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Which
But
you can
I
see.
mean, I think that's like I said, like when you leave something, you leave behind, and
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
still,
it's
there.
still there, and you can
You're
always
so-
go back and be
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's
You know,
my
I
stuff.
was there, like I
I
founded
did
that.
this.
Exactly.
It's like I'm sure you did something.
Yeah.
You said you would work
Yeah.
with the UNICEF
Exactly.
club as well.
Actually, recently, so I was really proud to see this. My fraternity and UNICEF were doing a combined collaboration event of they were selling pies and stuff. So it's pretty nice to see, like, the two orgs like I was really part of collaborating because I really used to struggle. Like, my fraternity dudes were like, oh, UNICEF, man, it's all for the kids, we're adults now. I'm like, dude, that's literally not the point. Like, literally not the point. But like, no, it was great, like, to see this bake sale, and I think,
That's nice.
yeah.
So I think so. We did speak a lot about university. There are a lot of topics as well. I think we can cover probably we must make a part 2 of it because there are a lot of nitty gritties.
Yeah, I'm sure
there
there'll be
For sure, yeah.
specific
questions,
that would need
but
to be
maybe
addressed.
let's sort of wrap it up with. We spoke about your orientation, but how was like the graduation?
Oh, man.
Did your parents come there?
Oh yeah,
Fly
yeah,
out?
yeah.
How was the entire experience?
So we had to buy tickets so that our parents could we were given, each student was given like 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But you needed an
But
extra.
you had to buy extra if you had like siblings who wanted to also visit the function and things like that. So obviously I bought an extra ticket for my younger brother to also attend it. And I sent the tickets, paid for the robe, did the
Yeah, the whole
testing,
graduation.
checked the size, picked out a brand new suit, you know, and
Oh.
like looking fresh. And then obviously you have your friends with you. So they do it not by module wise,
But
That
by
is something
college,
different. Yeah, by your college.
department
So
or whatever.
like, today is
Department,
Grisdale,
yeah.
today is like Grisdale College, and these are the students from Grisdale College who graduated in these principles or these subjects.
Yeah.
And then you know the whole process, and a big great hall, and they have this trumpet and the chancellor, the vice chancellor, and all of them wearing those old robes of lecturers, and this like the portraits that you see in libraries when they wear that shiny red.
Yes.
And they come and they have like security and all music, and the band plays and everyone stands up and there's a choir,
Yeah.
a big organ playing music, and like a full-on proper process, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, they give out the degrees. You can see your families clapping and things.
Did you do that?
Yeah, and then
The castle,
and then
yeah.
after they're like, okay, class of blah blah blah. Now you can move it to the right. Class photo, your photo is taken, and then everyone tosses it in the air. But yeah, that was my graduation.
What about
was
yours?
pretty
Oh
awesome.
man, okay, so I have a little vindication against mine. So what mine is, so firstly, I was supposed to graduate fall 2018, or which was May 2018, but I was a little dumb student. I didn't finish my coursework in time.
Oh, you're that guy.
I was that guy. So my degree says August 2018, but I still walked and everything in May. But yeah, okay, so for us it was really simple. Everything because we're a relatively small campus. Like I could walk from the north to the south of campus in like 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, everyone's graduation is on the same day. But because our College of Engineering was the biggest one, they got to take over the baseball field. And then by departments, they would kind of take it over. I am still pissed. I didn't get to walk on my university. So next to our university was this high school. And I walked in the auditorium of this high school.
Oh.
And it's so annoying. Like, oh my
What
God.
a buzzkill.
Dude, it was the worst. But I was happy was that so they did it by name, not by GPA.
So you're in the
So I am like I think the second or the third person. I'm like shuffling on the table, get in there, and then I take my degree. I look. I'm like maybe there's something inside. Nope, nothing. And then I walk off stage. Well, it was a bittersweet moment. I felt like it was good, like, and I enjoyed it. And then the hardest part came, which was after was hunting for jobs.
yeah.
That's another day,
the
but-
next,
That's not another day.
I mean that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
here in Dubai, so you can imagine what
Yeah.
happened.
All of us.
I think for me it was quite special actually because the last semester of my university was doing an internship.
Oh.
So basically I was sort of interning at a company
Yeah.
and then in the middle of that my graduation came
Oh.
and I was
Oh, yeah.
supposed to continue in the same company as well. But
most likely to succeed.
Definitely.
yeah, I'm not working there anymore. So
That's why you're
But,
succeeding,
yeah.
dude.
But anyway, so it was quite nice actually because I didn't know how it works in a university in Dubai because I had seen same like
Yeah.
universities in the US or UK where people have the full
Party.
robe and all that.
Yeah.
But what we did was the day before was like this trial sort of period, like exactly how we used to do in school
Yeah,
with any
rehearsal,
ceremony
like
that
a
you do a
rehearsal.
rehearsal.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we go there, they give you the robe, you get the hat, you select one which sort of fits you and everything. You actually sit in the same order in that auditorium
Oh, wow.
as you're doing on that day.
Did you ever
So
practice? No.
how we did it was, so the admission for our university happened where they give you that admission number. That
Yeah.
happens based on your 12th grade scores.
Yeah.
So for example, if I have a number before you, it means I scored more in my school exam than you.
Ooh.
So even that stays for your 4 years. That's your admission number.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, we get the degree in that same order, not the
Oh.
GPA, not even the name. Right. So
Wow.
it's a completely
So wait,
different.
That's
if
pretty
you did
messed
well
up.
in school and you
Yeah.
messed up in
You
university,
You
come on.
still living
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
dude.
But of course, but it was also again broken into the department you're doing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we had that whole rehearsal, and so I was very, very ignorant. I really did not know that after you graduate, you put the
Oh, yeah.
thing on the other
Zero
side.
clue.
Zero clue. But what was nice was my parents came for it,
Yeah.
and dad first time wore like a blazer, and mom was in a
Oh,
sari,
proud
and she
moment,
came
proud moment.
and they came late. I told them come early so you can sit in the front. They came late, so They were actually sitting like pretty
Nah.
much in the
They didn't come late. They came by Indian standard time.
yeah.
IST,
No, but they
baby.
were literally in the same row. Like I
Yeah.
was on one side and they were on the other side, but
Ah.
so they were actually in the same row.
Yeah.
And because it's an Indian university, they had a proper like a prayer and everything in
Right.
the starting,
Right.
which I don't think my parents expected, but they really liked it. So they were
That
like,
makes
oh,
sense,
they,
yeah.
they did so well and all that.
Nice.
And you go up, of course, and
Yeah.
the vice chancellor gives you the degree. And I am someone who is not at all photogenic, but I'm so thankful that that photo I like smiled properly.
That's
And-
that was your profile picture. or
No,
something?
that's a
that's
different
insane.
one, but the one which they officially take.
Yeah.
And for the suit, like so everyone was thinking like, what do you wear? But because you're wearing the robe, the suit
You
really
can't
is not
see it.
seen.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
I had the waistcoat and a tie so that
Ooh.
it looks like that suit thing. But the funny part was after you get the degree and get out, so there was a room to get the professional picture,
Ooh.
and the queue was like massive on that.
Ah.
Luckily, like I got in earlier and I
Yeah.
got out, but that was the whole experience. And then the next day went back to work, but it was quite proud actually.
That's
My
good.
sister couldn't make it because she was in India, but it was nice. Like my parents were actually quite surprised how the university conducted it
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
whole ceremony.
Oh man.
But of course, yeah, it was fun. I had already left by then, so that feeling was a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do definitely miss the place.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
That's
nice.
crazy, yeah.
So that brings us to the end of our second episode for Bate Unfiltered. So if you guys have any suggestions on what you liked, what you didn't like, anything that you wanted us to talk more about, or if you just have comments to share,
Yeah.
or anything, opinions to give, go ahead and send it to us. And if you want to also see our website, Bhav is going to probably put the link somewhere here on the video. So you can access that to know.
I'll try.
So he's gonna try, but otherwise, always remember you can like, share, subscribe, and
We'll be
keep
back.
giving us-
We'll be back soon.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
BateUnfiltered.com.
See ya.